With Mamanan coming out later on this week, I wanted to highlight one of the greatest scenes and one of the greatest endings, not just in Tamil cinema history, but also in world cinema history with the film Pariyerum Perumal. Now, this, in my personal opinion, is one of the best films in the last 10 years, not just in Tamil cinema, but also in world cinema. And it is one of the greatest director debuts in film history, in my personal opinion, from Mari Selvaraj. This 2018 film is excellent. If you still have never seen this film somehow, please do. It is very harrowing, it's very sad, it is very impactful, but it is an incredible watch and a very important watch as well. And this scene is a pretty much a testament to the director that is Mari Selvaraj. He captures the whole theme, the whole story, the whole metaphor, motifs, whatever you want to call it. He encapsulates all of that with this one scene and that one last shot. If you want to explain this movie to anyone that's never seen it before, or if you want to showcase what this story and film's all about, all you need to show is this last scene. Now, I'm not going to recap this whole film story to this point, but the fact that Mari Selvaraj, through this final scene and this final shot, was able to highlight classism, racism, casteism, and social prejudice through this final shot of two tea glasses with tea in them and a flower in between shows the sheer brilliance, the sheer visionary talent that he had as a director, and the technicality that he had as a director through his first film. I don't want to talk about much about the scene because once you see the film, I want you to understand how powerful and how brilliant the scene is. Mari Selvaraj, in an honest and realistic take, shows that even if people had hatred in their heart, they're not going to fully abolish all of that hatred from their heart right away. They'll still have it in themselves. There's that scene where Kadir's love interest, played by Anandi, her relative who's in love with Anandi doesn't love him back, but that relative hates Kadir not just because Anandi loves him, but also because Kadir's not from the same community and caste as him. Side note, I hate the notion of caste. I hate the fact that caste is still followed to this day. I don't believe in it. I'll never will. And I hope people watch this film and change their opinions on it, because this film really is an eye-opener for a lot of people. That peace treaty that they have, because the father forces that peace treaty to happen because he wants his daughter to be happy. Both of them don't look at each other because, Kadir still is saddened and angry at the fact that all these things happen to him throughout the whole film. The relative won't look at him in the eyes because he still doesn't look at him as an equal. Even though he's forced to make peace with them, he still won't change his ways. The father still won't change his ways because he talks about how, we'll see in the future, Kadir, once you get a job or whatever, we'll see. And Kadir, in one of the most brilliantly honest scenes I've ever seen in a film, he says, if you still look at me in a lowly manner, you're never going to change. You're still going to look at me as this different individual, and nothing will change. It's still going to be a cycle of hatred. And the father tries to brush it off and says, we'll see, whatever. But, when the song starts playing, that soulful song composed brilliantly by Santosh Narayanan, when that song starts playing, when the singer starts singing, it brought tears to my eyes, because you see, you're wondering, how is this film going to end? And you see Anandi bringing these two cups of tea to Kadir and to her dad, and she's happy to see them talking. She's hopeful. She's very innocent in the film, so she's hopeful that her dad will like Kadir, because she doesn't understand the whole caste aspect of things. She just likes Kadir, and she's confused as to why her family doesn't like him. And now that they're kind of bonding, she sees okay, it's nice that they're talking, whatever. And she's smiling to see that things are going in a good way. And, all of them walk away after they drink their tea. The camera zooms towards the table and shows this. The fact that these two tea glasses, one with milk tea, one with plain tea, and a flower in between, it's a love letter towards what Mari Selvaraj was trying to tell people through this film. Even though this film is all about, hatred, sorrow, and disturbing natures in terms of caste differentiality that is brought towards people because, they think that, just because you don't belong in the same caste or community, you're not equals. Again, I hate the notion that people still follow it or whatever. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, the fact that he showed all of that in the story, and it's such a depressing story, the fact that he still says that there's hope through this one shot shows the brilliance of a director that is Mari Selvaraj. He shows that, even in these differences, milk tea and plain tea, we all have differences within ourselves. With another person, we have different, mentalities. Sometimes we have different thoughts. We have different tastes in food and music and film. We speak different languages. We follow different cultures, religions. We sometimes will have different sports teams that we like. We have different clothes that we like to wear. We have so much differences, all these differences. But at the end of the day, you know what matters and you know what wins? Love, communication, connectivity. And that flower is a peace offering, and it's a hopeful thought for the future for these characters in this film and possibly other people in the world, that even with all these differences, we need that peaceful love to connect us. And that's the thing that should be able to allow us to be both humans to each other and to allow people to be okay and to be thoughtful and to be loving towards each other, even with all these differences. Because you know what makes us human? All those differences. It makes us have this individuality that connects us all in a human scale and a human perspective and all. It's insane that Mari Selvaraj was able to showcase all of those things, which is 2 cups of tea and a flower in between.